my video on evaluating expressions for a variable. So in our previous lesson, we learned how to do order of operations, and now we're going to do order of operations with a variable in it. So you're going to be able to evaluate algebraic expressions for given replacement values of the variables, which basically means I'm going to tell you what the variable equals, and you're going to take out all the variables and put the value in. So for example, if I say a equals 6, you're going to take out all the letter a's and put the number 6. So here are the steps to evaluating expressions for given replacement values of the variable. So the first step is to substitute each replacement value for the given variable. So write the word variable. Remember that the number in front of the letter means to multiply. Remember also that the number in front of the parentheses also means to multiply. So anytime you see those two situations, we are going to multiply. Then we evaluate the expressions using order of operations. Okay, now the examples below specifically say to evaluate the following when a equals 6. So when we do examples 5, 6, 7, and 8, we're going to take out the letter a and put the number 6. So let's see how we do here. So look at number 5. We're going to put parentheses 6 squared, because a equals 6, minus 9, close your parentheses, divided by 3. And I'm going to change colors here so that you can see what I'm doing in each step. So after grouping is done, parentheses, then we look inside and we look for exponents. So I see 6 squared, which is 36, because that means 6 times 6. 36 minus 9, close your parentheses, divided by 3. Now we're still not done with the parentheses, so we have to do 36 minus 9, which is 27. Now the parentheses can disappear because I'm down to one number. So 27 divided by 3, of course, is 9. So the final answer is 9. Okay, number 6. The first step is to take out the variable and put the number. So we're going to do 9 plus 6 squared divided by 3 minus 24. Now as I look at this problem, I don't see any grouping. So now I'm going to look for exponents. I see 6 squared, that means 6 times 6 is 36. So I'm going to write 9 plus 36 divided by 3 minus 24. All the exponents are gone, so my next step is multiply or divide from left to right. And I notice 36 divided by 3 first when I look from left to right, and that is 12. Bring down the 9, bring down the plus sign, and bring down the minus 24. Now as I look, I don't see any more multiplication or division. So now my last step is to look for addition or subtraction from left to right. And I notice that addition comes first from left to right. So underline 9 plus 12, which is 21. Bring down the minus 24. And of course, 21 minus 24 is negative 3, because remember, if you have $21, I cannot take away 24 from you, so you would owe me $3. So that's how I get negative 3. Okay, let's move on to number 7. We have 4 parentheses 6 minus 9, remember our a is still 6, plus 6. Grouping. So 6 minus 9 is -3. Now remember, when a number is in front of parentheses, that means multiply. So I'm going to bring down the 4 and put a dot for multiplication. So 4 times -3, and also bring down the plus 6 because I haven't done anything with that. And notice when I did 6 minus 9, I got rid of the parentheses because remember the parentheses disappears when I'm down to one number. So now I'm going to look for exponents. I don't see anything, so multiplication or division from left to right. And I notice I see multiplication. So 4 times -3 is -12. Bring down the plus 6. And now I only have one step left, so I have no choice but to add. So -12 plus 6 is good, -6. Okay, let's look at number 8. So once again, take out the letter A and put 6. So 3 times 6 divided by 4 minus 6 plus 2 times 6. Okay, now it looks like there isn't any grouping here, but there actually is. And there isn't parentheses grouping or bracket grouping, but rather a fraction grouping, and it's right here. Anytime I have a fraction that has something to do on the top or an operation to do on the bottom or the top, let me rephrase that again, an operation to do on the bottom or the top, then that is considered grouping. So I'm going to take care of that first. So we have 3 times 6, which is 18. So write down 18 divided by 4 minus 6 plus 2 times 6. Now it's down to a single fraction there. So now it's just considered division. Okay? So we have division, subtraction, addition, multiplication. So after we take care of grouping, we don't have exponents. Now we're looking for multiplication or division from left to right. So we just said this was division. So I'm going to circle that. I normally like to underline, but when I have a fraction, I like to circle it. So 18 divided by 4 is 4.5 minus 6 plus 2 times 6. Okay, now, do I have any more multiplication or division from left to right? And I do, right here. So 2 times 6 is 12. Bring down 4.5 minus 6 plus 12. Now there's no more multiplication or division, so now I'm going to look for addition or subtraction from left to right. So right here, 4.5 minus 6 is negative 1.5 plus 12. And remember, when you're adding a negative and a positive, you subtract and keep the sign of the most. So 12 minus 1.5 would be 10.5, and it's going to be positive because there's more positives. So 10.5. Now you can also, I love people to do these in their head, but since this is a calculator section of 7th grade, then I would still like you to do it in your head, but also to double check your math in your calculator to make sure that we're not making any integer mistakes. Okay? So I'm not saying use the calculator every single time, but do it in your head and then just double check it in the calculator to make sure you are correct. Okay, so now the next section says on your own. If you are not ready on your own, then just continue watching until you are ready on your own. And it's okay if at any point you're not ready on your own. But if you are ready on your own, go ahead and pause the video, and then you can fast forward to double check to see if you did the steps correctly. And I would encourage you, if you made a mistake, to watch the entire problem from the beginning and fix your mistake. So go ahead and pause if you're ready. If not, keep watching. Okay, welcome back if you paused the video. So let's see how you did. If you didn't pause the video, then I'm teaching you for the first time. So m equals -3, so I went ahead and boxed that in, so go ahead and do that. And I'm going to take out all the m's and put -3. So 6 times -3 divided by 4 minus 2 times -3 plus 7. Now I'm going to switch colors here. Now, once again, this is very similar to the previous problem we did, and we just said that when we have an operation to do on the top or bottom of a fraction, I go ahead and circle it. So 6 times -3 is -18 divided by 4 minus 2 times -3 plus 7. So now my grouping's done. I don't see any exponents, so I'm going to look for multiplication or division from left to right, and I actually see it right here. Remember, just a single fraction is considered division. So -18 divided by 4 is -4.5 minus 2 times -3 plus 7. Now, is there any more multiplication or division from left to right? There sure is. So there's two ways to look at it. You can look at this as -2 times -3, in which case you would write plus 6. Or you can look at it as 2 times -3, which is -6, and then bring down the minus sign. I'm going to look at it that way because this is the way that most people will do it. So that's -6, but now watch what I was saying, because this is a mistake people always make. Bring down the minus sign, and now that right there is just plain old -6 plus 7. Now, we only have addition or subtraction left, so we're going to go from left to right. Now, there's two ways to look at this part. Underline this part, and we can look at this. If we're doing it in our head, we can look at this as -4.5 plus +6 because of KCC, and that would give us 1.5 plus 7, and 1.5 plus 7, of course, is 8.5. Okay, moving on to number 10. If b equals 3, what is the value? So box b equals 3, and I'm going to take out all the b's and put 3. So 3 to the third power minus 3 minus 6 in parentheses plus 5 times 3. And the first step, of course, is grouping. So we see a grouping right here, parentheses. So 3 minus 6 is -3. Now remember, bring down your minus sign. Okay, 3 to the third power plus 5 times 3. Now my next step is to do exponents. So 3 to the third power means 3 times 3, which is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So remember, when you're doing 3 to the third power, you're multiplying 3 threes together. So that would give us 27. I forgot to underline that. Okay, minus -3 plus 5 times 3. Now, because all the exponents are gone, I'm looking for multiplication or division from left to right. And I only see multiplication here at the end. So 5 times 3 is 15. Bring down 27 minus -3 plus 15. Now, I'm going to do subtraction. And if I'm doing this in my head, I'm thinking about KCC. 27 plus 3, which is 30, plus 15. And 30 plus 15 is 45. So write down 45 for our final answer. Okay, now feel free at any time to pause the video if you haven't to this point, and maybe try a couple on your own. So welcome back once again if you pause the video. So n equals 2, so I'm going to box that in. Parentheses, 4 plus 2 to the 4th power. Close your parentheses, divided by 5. Minus 7 times 2. And remember, my number in front of letter means to multiply, so that's why I put a dot there. It's not 72, it's 7 times 2. So order of operations tells me to do grouping first. So I'm going to, inside the parentheses, I'm going to look for exponents, and I see them right here, 2 to the 4th power. Remember, that means 2 multiplied together 4 times. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. Divided by 5 minus 7 times 2. I still have parentheses, so I still have grouping, and 4 plus 16 is 20. Now the parentheses is gone. So 20 divided by 5 minus 7 times 2. And order of operations will tell me to do multiplication or division from left to right. So 20 divided by 5 is 4, minus 7 times 2. Now I still have multiplication. So I still have to take care of that because it's multiplication or division from left to right till it's all gone. And 7 times 2 is 14. Now, this is the mistake I've been seeing in class. 4 minus 14 is not positive 10. Remember, if you have $4, I can't take away 14 from you, so you're going to owe me $10. So this is actually negative 10, so be careful. And last but not least, number 12. So D equals negative 5. So let's box that in so we know exactly what number we're plugging in. So it says parentheses 10. I'm going to put a multiplication sign because number in front of letter, plus 5, close the parentheses, divided by negative 5. Now, our first step is grouping, and I see parentheses, and inside the parentheses, I don't see any exponents. So I'm looking for multiplication or division from left to right. I spot in multiplication. 10 times negative 5 is negative 50. Plus 5. Close the parentheses. Divided by negative 5. Now I still have parentheses because I'm not down to one number. Negative 50 plus 5 is negative 45. Divided by negative 5. And lastly here, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So negative 45 divided by negative 5 is positive 9. Okay, that concludes our notes on evaluating expressions for a variable. I hope you have a great day.